Hello everybody and welcome to the Enfinergy Boldbrain winner of the Hemargroup Prize 2020. So we have Maurizio and Michael on the screen, as well as Saverio, the Chief Marketing Officer of Hemargroup. And we have a couple of questions for you guys. So tell us a bit about your startup. How is your journey? What are you doing, guys?
So shall I start, Maurizio, or?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So we are trying to do a different approach to the way electric energy is managed for the consumers and for the electric energy providers like distribution system operators and so on. Because as we know, in the past several years, we have seen a huge growth in the renewable energy overall in Europe, and not only in Europe. And while as renewable energy is very good, and it's eventually it's free, but it creates a lot of disturbances to the grid. The main problem of renewable energy, it is intermittent nature of it. So you cannot really control and very well forecast when and how you get this energy from the renewable sources. While as the traditional energy system has been built since Edison times, has been built based on the principle that electric energy is an immediate consumption product. So the moment someone produces it, it has to be consumed. And most of the traditional energy distribution systems in the world have been built over the last 100 years with this principle in mind. While renewable energy brings a complete different approach, a requirement for a complete different approach in how you build and manage your networks, and how the consumers manage their own energy.
All right.
So
very nice explanation. Many thanks. And what are actually the challenges you have faced so far? So do you already have a product working, or are you in the stage where the consumers still have to say a word?
We do have a prototype. We actually have built several prototypes. We have patented our technology. We have one patent and two patents pending. One is EU patent and one is US patent. These are those which are pending. We have several prototypes. One is working now. We have built base cloud software for it and the mobile app, so we can pretty much control the system. And this prototype is actually in my house, so I can control energy in my house very easily from the mobile phone, as well as Maurizio can also control the energy in my house if he wants, because he's connected to the same device.
Actually, I was recommended do not touch anything, but I can see at least the consumption of Michael.
Yeah, and we have the cloud database, which potentially can allow access to distribution system operators to manage a multiplicity of such devices so that they control energy flows on a specific branch of the grid, on a specific feeder, or on a specific substation.
All right, great. And this is very, very cool indeed, actually, because you're moving also to controlled energy for the general public. So not only for the big entities and big companies, but also for the general public. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's correct. And basically the idea of our smart power center is that it's a device which has built-in artificial intelligence and which makes management of energy for the general public, actually for the user, very, very simple. So pretty much you put it on the wall, you connect it, you set it up, and it does all the rest. You don't need to touch it. You can only watch what is going on. So, and for the user, unlike traditional solutions, it only has a choice of two possible ways of operating, which is comfort and economy, and he can choose one of those.
Good.
Something to answer better not because you didn't answer nicely, but just to add some more interesting things, is that our product fit perfectly. The liberalization of the market is happening right now in Europe. Where basically the European Commission, with the support of the European Parliament, they are pushing hard in order to have a total liberalization of the production of energy. So whoever has the possibility to produce autonomously energy through, of course, renewable energy, there is legislation that allows him to be connected into the grid, to create a microgrid, even independent, and be connected to major distribution grid. And our product fits perfectly this kind of requirements.
Okay, nice. We see that your team is extremely international. It is placed overall all over the world. And but you choose Boldbrain in Ticino as an accelerator. Why that?
Well, that was a little bit by chance, because we got to learn about it occasionally few days before the deadline of application submissions. And we had a discussion within the team and decided that it would be nice. It's the center of Europe. It's a nice location, pretty close to Italy. Also, Switzerland is not a bad country to consider setting up business for Europe. And we decided to give it a chance.
Yeah, also, I would say that we actually found out later, but I shall really underline the fact that the Boldbrain offered really a fantastic program. Although we have the white hair and we are supposed to be experienced, but I still met people that really have been able to teach us something and to give us a little bit of perspective and how to approach market, how to approach investors, how to present, let's say, in a reasonable way, a pitch for investors. So it was extremely useful, and I found really the Boldbrain team a very good quality team from this point of view.
And in this scenario, you also met with Hemargroup, and therefore you got the prize. Actually, maybe Saverio, can you give a bit of an explanation what the Hemargroup prize is and what Hemargroup does?
Yes, absolutely. So just to start, what is Hemargroup? Hemargroup is basically a group of 3 companies, and it is specialized on electronic manufacturing, design and engineer. So we basically serve 360 degrees the entire product development journey of any electronic product, from the idea, so the design, the engineering, the prototyping, and we are right up to the end product, to the final product. So we manufacture electronic in small scale or big scales, mass market for our customers, for our partners. The Hemargroup Award is based on basically 20 hours of engineer to the most promising startups of the electronic field that we see in Boldbrain. And so it is an help to all the most promising startups to start their journey, develop their products, and launch with success on the market.
And this is exactly what we will do with Enfinergy right away.
Exactly.
One last question, Maurizio and Michael, maybe 2 for each of you. Give us, or give actually the public, 2 tips and tricks for a new startup in the technology area. How could they be successful as you are going to be?
Maurizio, over to you. You begin.
I have to admit that I had also another experience of startup, but 20 years ago actually, when probably the fashion of startup just started up at that time. And my personal experience is that you have to prove your concept. I mean, and especially you have to be ready to change. Of course, I mean, you have to continue your idea consistently, but not stubbornly. You have to listen from your environment around, check with potential customer, prove your model. You have to prove that really your product is gonna meet, let's say, the favor of the customers. Otherwise, you risk to start the journey with the wrong foot, basically.
Michael?
Yeah, a couple of things. One, I think what's very important is a team, because first of all, if you decide to go as a startup to start your own company, you need to admit that there is no single person in the world which can do everything, which has skills to cover many areas. And when you deal with a complicated technology product like ours, it is obvious that you need to have a good team of people, experts around you who will help you, support you, take a little piece in the total and help you develop that. And Hemargroup is a possibility one of the partner like this. So we have a very mixed team with some people who are kind of full-time and some people who work as contractors for us, but we are trying to collect all necessary skills which we don't have ourselves. The other thing is focus and commitment. The idea we have and the development plans we have are huge, and we are not talking about everything we have in mind, although we may have spoken about the perspective and so on, but it's very important that you need to focus on small steps and move in realistic steps which you can potentially accomplish, like making a prototype, like focusing on certain functionality to begin with, doing an MVP and going step by step to match potential customer requirements which may be existing now or which may happen in the future.
Okay, great. That's very nice tips from both of you. Saverio, maybe one last word about our future with Enfinergy, with Boldbrain, and with the Hemargroup prize.
Yeah, so basically, I think that we will start a very profitable collaboration. I think that for sure we will give to you all of our support in order to build and skyrocket the sales of your product. And for sure we will be present for every partner, customer, to help them in their successful journey to the market. And for this reason, every year I think we will continue also the partnership with Boldbrain to help all the very successful startups that we see every year.
All right. Thank you very much, Saverio, for this last word. And thank you, Michael and Maurizio, for this wonderful interview.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.